There's the train on the track. That was another great half day here at Six Flags Over Georgia. I rode every operating coaster except Joker Funhouse Coaster, their junior coaster. And of course, several coasters not operating, Goliath and Kid Flash, which is pretty much defunct at this point, I imagine. Not officially yet, but yeah, it probably is. Goliath is down because they are repainting it. Why they couldn't repaint it in the off season instead of while the season is still going on, I don't know, but that's just how they're doing it. But of the coasters that are operating, you know, everything delivered today. Batman the Ride was running incredible. People say it's the most intense Batman the Ride clone, and after that ride, you know what, I might agree with it. But if so, just by a smidge. Mindbender rode much better this time than my last ride. And Georgia Scorcher here rode better than ever before. It was so smooth and forceful. Way better than Pipeline. Much better layout, more comfortable, more enjoyable. Oh, got back on Daredevil Dive. Haven't ridden that in, I think, 3 years, maybe 4 years. Got 2 rides early on. It was riding great. Great American Scream Machine was riding great. Got 2 rides on it. Blue Hawk riding great. Everything. Even Superman, their kiddie coaster. I mean, their B&M Flyer. Of course, I say that tongue-in-cheek. It's not a kiddie coaster by any stretch. The Superman here is much better than the ones at Great American Great Adventure because of the terrain. It makes you feel like you're going a lot faster than you actually are going because you are right up against the ground for so much of it. At Great American Great Adventure, you're like pretty high up off the ground and it feels a lot slower. It might actually be slower, I don't know. Still got a couple hours of operation left here, but I'm gonna head on to Fun Spot Atlanta. I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon. Ah, it's so great to be back here. Can't wait to get back on this ride. And I finished today with 25 laps on ArieForce One. I don't think I got anything left. There's about 25 minutes left. Probably time for 3 or 4 more if I wanted to stay on, but I'm good. I'll be back here in the morning. The airtime is so strong and it's so relentless and there's so much of it. I was gonna start today back at Fun Spot Atlanta, but there was a slight drizzle, and there still is. I was told that ArieForce One does not run in any kind of precipitation at all. I was here last year, and it did run in some drizzle, but maybe they learned through experiences like that that there might be some problems by running it in the rain. So just be aware of that. It rains in Atlanta a lot. In fact, I don't think I've ever been here where it's not raining. You might want to keep that in mind, plan accordingly, because driving through Atlanta traffic, especially if it's midday, it's pretty terrible. Now, by leaving Fun Spot at, 10:15 a.m., that made it not a big deal at all to get through Atlanta. But it might also make a difference, like with your planning of the day. If it's going to rain in the morning, you might just want to come here instead. Now you can see here, we at least got Batman the Ride and Mindbender running. Just got off of 2 in a row on Superman. On these dreary, drizzly days, it seems like this is a great time to come to Six Flags Over Georgia. It's such a light crowd. Superman is running 1 train, and I got to re-ride. And I could have stayed on for a 3rd in a row. But I definitely want to get back on this. My 3rd favorite in the park, and I just missed it. That's okay, I'll be on it when it gets back. with the crowd, I'll probably be able to get re-rides on this too. So this kind of makes it not so bad that Fun Spot was not operating ArieForce One. And I just got off of 5 in a row on Great American Scream Machine in 4 different rows. Started off in the front row, my first ever front row ride. I do think it is a little better in the front. And my last ride was in the very back. Yes, over a wheel seat. When I made that video roasting Great American Scream Machine 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, never would I have thought that I'd be marathoning this with 5 in a row. But it is riding that much better now than it did then. Or maybe just my tolerance for rough wooden coasters has gotten better. It's probably a little bit of both. They have done a lot of track work on it, but I can also handle rough wooden coasters better now than I could before. Superman Ultimate Flight. With the terrain setting, this one is so much better than the other two, and I also think it rides better. It seems faster. I don't know. Maybe that's just the perception because of the terrain setting. Now, if you're wondering about the airtime on Great American Scream Machine, it's nothing monumental, but it is there. It ranges from very gentle floater to mild to average floater. Considering my history of this and how much better it is now than it was before, this ride has become kind of my secret obsession. And a similar ending to ArieForce One, ending with a bunch of airtime hills and an abrupt stop. Though not quite as abrupt as that one, but I can handle it. I keep my arms up for it. I couldn't help myself. I had to get up to 10 rides on Great American Scream Machine. If you're gonna get to double digits on Great American Scream Machine, you're gonna have to hit it up early. It seems like they always run one train, and it is very popular. But it takes people a while to make their way to the back of the park, so that first hour to 2 hours had no line. Now it's building up a line. But after those 10 rides, oddly enough, I think the middle of the train gives the best airtime. Wouldn't have guessed that. My favorite row was row 5, but I also liked row 9. So kind of a strange one. The middle gives the best airtime. I just did 11 laps on Twisted Cyclone in 1 hour and 45 minutes. My only re-ride was there at the end, the last 2. It's been a station wait or a walk-on the whole time. These cool, drizzly days seem to be the best days to come here. Daredevil Dive was a 2-train wait. It's actually grown a little bit since then, in the couple of minutes since then. This is such a graceful ride. It is smooth. It's got great airtime and hang time on the final inversion. People want to criticize this ride, but really the only thing to criticize is the low capacity, leading to the long lines. I got some laps on a few of the other coasters, Daredevil Dive, Batman the Ride, and Georgia Scorcher. And I finished the night with a couple on Twisted Cyclone, so that was 13 for the day on Twisted Cyclone. Never thought that I would get double digits on that ride in a day. And no, I did not have to use Flash Pass at all for it. Didn't have to use Flash Pass at all today. Even though I had signed myself up for it, I never had to use it. So if you have one of these misty, dreary days that's a little bit cool, go ahead and come on to Six Flags Over Georgia. 32 coaster rides, 2 rides on the Drop Tower, 2 rides on Monster Mansion, on a day that I only had about 6 hours to ride rides because I also had to get my 2 meals. I didn't have to, but since I have the dining plan, might as well take advantage of it. So less than 6 hours that I had to ride rides, and I got 36 rides out of it. An average of 10 minutes per ride. And this is what I saw last year covered up by the wall saying it was coming soon, the new entry to the park. It is too bad about Goliath, but I should be back next year around the same time frame, and I'll be able to ride it then.